What's up, everyone? Welcome finally to another episode of the camper build. So for those of you that haven't watched it, I encourage you to go back and watch the video before this one. It'll explain the absence and explain where I've been over the last 9-10 months or so, and why I'm just now getting back to this thing. But I'm slowly starting to get back into it because I want to finish it. So I'm going to just kind of do a quick review of where we're at, mainly on the inside because that's all I'm working on today, and then kind of show you everything else from there. If you haven't gone back and watched the other videos, I encourage you to do so. This will kind of get you caught up to where we're at right now. But where I left off was I just got the floor and insulation laid down, and I finally, even though ignore the way the wall looks, because I know most people are going to cringe and flip when they see all this what appears to be mold and all that stuff, but it's not. I promise, it's just stain. There's no more water leaks because we just had a big rain last night, and it is not wet. So what I gotta do to the wall is it's just that outer cover, which you can see it a little bit right there. I just need to peel off the cover that's on that wood, which I've already started doing a little bit right there in that area. So that's for another day. What I'm wanting to get done right now is we have this crap ton of laminate flooring that was inside our house that we pulled out, and this is going to be the final stage to the floor. So today I want to try to get as much as I can, if not completed, get the floor done, get this floor laid down all the way from back to front, and then I got to work on boxing in the both wheel wells. And just to kind of give you an idea on what I'm going to do with that, I still have some leftover aluminum that I use for the roof. So what my plan is I'm going to cut off a piece to put kind of between here, covering this whole area right here, and bolt it into the current wheel well, and then we'll get some of our caulking or sealant and we'll seal it in really good, and then I'm just going to build a wooden box to go around to hide the wheel. And then later on it'll require me from the outside, but I'm going to be pulling these wheels off so we can I'm going to get some of that Rhino liner spray to be able to, that'll help undercoat it, because eventually I'm going to undercoat the whole thing in that Rhino liner, plus a little bit of the front. But in the next video I'll talk more about the exterior and what it still needs, and kind of go into what I'm going to do as far as painting it and that kind of thing. So here's what's going to happen. We are going to get started on the floor. So if it looks like I'm just kind of going through the floor because I'm like discarding some pieces or whatever, it's because I am. Technically there's two different, it looks almost identical, but there are two different kinds of flooring. So I got to make sure that I get the right pieces because they are all mixed together, all stacked up in this big old stack leaning against the wall in here. So you know what? I'm just going to go through and just pull out a few pieces so we don't have to keep doing this. So as you can see that the floor is completed. And if you haven't noticed, because I might look a little different, it is like a couple weeks later because I am not able to work on this thing as often as I want to. So anyway, we got the floor done, and now if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the little sneak peek of what's to come for the bed and this area back here. But that's not the rest of the focus for today's video. So the next thing on the list to do is I'm going to work on boxing in the wheels. There's a couple things I got to do first before I can just box in with the wood, because I still have plenty of the 2x2s that I'm going to put in. I'm just going to build an outline all the way around and then build it up, enclose it, and then enclose it with, I'm either going to use this, which is probably what I'm going to put over it first, or I thought about using some of the flooring, but I think I'm just going to use the wood that I already have right here. So, but first what I want to do is I'm going to take some of my aluminum here and I'm going to cut out some pieces and to where it'll fit along this here and then kind of slide down inside here and then mount it in to where that way later on when I take this wheel off and I go to spray the undercarriage, it'll have the aluminum there instead of spraying like on the wood, so it just kind of gives it a little extra protection. I know it's not looking like much, but it's not meant to be pretty. So I got it mounted to the wheel well, which when we do the undercoating and I take the wheel off, I will saw or cut off the excess screw that's sticking through the other side, just to make sure, even though it looks like there's a lot of clearance where it won't poke the tire, but I'm going to cut it off anyway. But and then also once we're down there, I don't know if you can see it, but right here is the metal frame of the actual trailer. So this right here will get finished. I'll screw that in as well, and then all we gotta do is just seal it up and we'll be good to go on that end. So with this excess, all I'm essentially going to do is just bend this down like so and put a screw in it, and then we'll be good to go, and then we'll be ready to box it in. Before I start cutting the wood for this side, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side and go ahead and get the measurements so I can just go out there and cut everything all at the same time and then bring it back in and put it back together. So I'm going to leave that part off film. Next thing you'll see is me outside cutting a bunch of wood. got the bottom. Now I just got to build the sides that, like, I got to build a post that comes up, or cut a couple of those for the corners, and then basically cut these same measurements out again for the top on both sides, so that way once we get those posts built, we can set those on top, screw it in. Probably hurt ourselves because, you know, that's what they keep doing. Maybe one day I'll actually wear gloves. You know, I have gloves, I just don't wear them. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to measure those out, and then we're going to go recut these same ones that I already cut. Alright, it's starting to look like something. I got this in here. It's getting sturdy. Boxed in. So all it needs now is the skin. So I'm going to start measuring that and start getting that put on. As you just saw, I got the box in. It's enclosed, and we're good to go. So the only thing that's missing on it now is figuring out what we're going to paint, because we don't know the color in here yet. And then also around the edges, we're going to be putting some sort of trim, and I'm not sure what kind of trim yet either. So it's going to look a lot better than what it does, but I'm very satisfied with it. I think it turned out rather well, and it's starting to look like something in here, so I'm getting pretty excited. But anyway, I'm glad that you all are here. I'm glad that you all are still continue to watch this, even though it's been a long time since I've done any kind of update on this thing. And the next video, I hope to be starting what's right here behind me. So that's going to be the next project, is getting the beds situated, and so that's... Sorry about that, I had a phone call. But anyway, I'm going to be getting the beds mounted in and getting them in place. If you have not already, please like the video if you are enjoying this camper build, subscribe, and also ring that little bell that's down there, because when I finally do upload videos, it'll let you know. So see you all next time. Y'all have a good one.